What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Wheel Talk. So right now I'm almost done scooping. I only have one house left. There's a little bit of traffic getting back to where I need to go, but today is Friday. It is June 12th and it's 2:45, so I'm gonna be finished a little early today. So on Fridays, every other week it's like 5 houses or 4 houses, and the other one is, so this is the week where I have one less house to scoop, and it's pretty hot today, to be honest. Yeah, so a little bit of an update about where things are, what I'm doing, what my plans are, because in some of my other videos I talked about what my plans are post layoff. I was thinking about maybe doing high school teaching combined with community college teaching to make like around 90K. And when you start off as a high school teacher, you start off around 70K if you have just a bachelor's and a master's. But remember, that route I'd have to do a teacher credential, which is like another 2 years of school on top of teaching, which I don't even know how to do. Like, you have to like learn how to write lesson plans and do all this other stuff. I mean, I'm assuming it's not that hard, but it's a whole nother, it's even more education. And I'm still doing my master's, and so with my master's, it's just the start of the summer, so I get paid during the summer. But I've been kind of aggressively applying for jobs both in biotech, and then last night a role came up. I was on LinkedIn and I seen someone that I know from my old community college. She liked a post for like an administration role, which is like, I'm pretty sure I'm like overqualified for that, but it's fine because the salary is pretty much what I would be starting off as a community college. As a high school teacher, around 65 to 70K, depending on where they place me. And I get benefits. To be honest, it's actually less pay because you're working more days throughout the year. But at this point, I just need something to stabilize my income. Like, I'm good, like with my stipend and my savings. I'm good for like beyond the end of my master's program. The thing is though, like, it feels good having all that cash on hand, and if I can make money on top of that, then I never have to even dip into that cash, which would be kind of nice. And like be able to stabilize my income, and I'd have better insurance, and I'd have benefits like dental and health. It would be like pretty good overall. And and so what I was thinking about doing was doing that role, finishing up my master's, if I could work it out with my school where they'll let me do part-time. It might take me like a year longer, but if they let me do that, in about 2 years of being an admin, I'd be around like 80,000, and then from there, sorry, there's traffic up here on the bridge, and I was making sure I wasn't doing something I'm not supposed to do. Let's see this. Thought that might have been someone I knew. Anyways, long story short, what I was thinking about doing is, if I get that role doing that teaching or that admin role, if I get that position doing the admin role, making about 65 to 70K, that would stabilize my income. And then in the meantime, I could still be applying for biotech roles, but those don't just fall out of the sky, especially in this job market. Biotech's getting hit pretty bad. That doesn't mean I'm not applying. Like, I've applied to like, I think 3 or 4 positions. Again, I apply for like positions that I'm not just applying for anything under the sun. They're very targeted, and I haven't even got one interview. But if I'm being honest, I've just started taking these applications more serious in terms of like every day looking at new postings. And it's kind of hard to break in because like a lot of times, they might already have a candidate who they want to hire, or if they don't know, you get lost in a pile of resumes. So I'm not trying to get disheartened by that, but I also don't want to wait. Like, there's no guarantee, like, let's say even in my last semester I'll start looking for a job. That's too late, to be honest, in my opinion. Like, for example, for high school teaching, I have to start looking in like November of this year, which is my fall semester, my second to last semester. So if I'm already looking for high school positions, I might as well start looking for biotech roles. In the meantime, during this, like, while I'm still working towards getting a job, what I'm doing is continuing my research at school. I'm still gonna try and get as much done as I can throughout the summer, and from there, because if I get a lot of data, if I generate a lot of data right now, I could use that later. I could just do the writing for my last 2 semesters, but I need to get enough data, so we'll see how that goes. That's why sometimes I get stressed when the experiments don't work, because it's like, dang, I really needed that. But there's a phrase, done is better than perfect, and I've been trying to like remind myself of that. Yeah, so in the meantime, applying for biotech roles, as well as continue my master's research. But to be honest, I think I'm a really competitive candidate for this role at my community college where I have the dean who's referencing me for the position, and then my old community college professor, and then I have like a really strong cover letter, a tailored resume, and it's super close to home. Like, I know I'm not making as much as I'm literally probably making like half of what I was making in biotech, but like I'm close to home. I have like a house, a mortgage, so like I don't need to, like, if I'm being honest, it'd be like a tight squeeze in terms of like my budget financially, but I'd still be able to cover all my bills. And yeah, we'll see what happens. I'll keep you all posted on what the status of my job search is, if I end up getting any interviews, how I got those interviews, how the business is going. Yeah, I'll be updating throughout the summer. I ain't got nothing else to do. So be sure to like, subscribe, and share a hype if you have one. Take it easy.